Soon as you get it, screw it in. Boom, bam. Soon as you get it, throw it over the shoulder. Boom, turn, boom. Now to attack the hair, if I'm grabbing her, let's just say I'm getting jumped and I'm dealing with one bee right here and this one come up, boom, and I just happen to get her hair. I don't want to just start pulling like this and I mean, she could be hitting me, all that stuff. As soon as you get it, it's just like we do on the mat. Screw it in, right? Act like you're a screw and you turn until she's screwed into the ground. All right. Now, add to that your sotogari. Does that make sense? Look, he got excited, right? As soon as I boom and I start screwing, leg, boom. Ooh, you all right?
Yeah.
All right. Immediately. I don't even got to do too much. As soon as I grab it, just turn, stick my leg out, she's going down. So I can still be working her over here. Does that make sense? The other one is, as soon as I grab her hair, and I'm assimilate the collar right here is her hair. As soon as I grab it, turn, put it over my shoulder, turn, drop to my knee. She's going where? She's going where? To the ground. Okay? As soon as I get it, I'm going to turn and drop to my knee. That with the hand, the same hand that I grabbed her with, that's the knee that's going to drop to the ground. Turn, pull it over my head, and go. Pop, 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 pop.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is KLA, Cloud Wanderer, and that was the intro of my guest. His name is Sabata, the founder of Dojolife. How you been, man?
I'm good. That's Sabata.
Sabata, excuse me. What kind of name is that? Like, where's that from?
From my daddy.
No, I was saying like it's like an African name. I never heard that name. It's an interesting name.
It's a Kemetic name. It means the messenger or prince of kicks.
Oh, okay. I wasn't expecting that one. But yeah, man, thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak with you. Yeah, I seen you on Instagram, and yeah, I like what you was doing. Like you're martial arts instructor. How did you get into it? Yeah. How did you that, or you study Goji? I can't pronounce the name. The martial arts that you study.
I study a lot of different systems and arts, but my main one is Tai Chi.
Oh, okay.
Tai Chi Chuan, Tai Chi boxing. Yep.
Oh, okay. A while back, I did learn that a little bit. I studied that for like 2 years. I was like learning under this teacher, like 2 teachers really. Well, actually 3 teachers. Like they were like Chinese women and stuff. And,
oh, okay.
Yeah, but the thing was, they didn't really like sometimes the form wasn't correct. So, I kind of left that alone and I did something else totally different. So I just said, but it was fun while it lasted. Like you got into it though.
Yeah, first day I saw Tai Chi, I fell in love. Well, this first day I saw this Tai Chi, I fell in love. I had seen Tai Chi before, but it didn't really catch my attention until I really saw the power of Tai Chi, and that changed my mind. I was hooked.
Okay. What you was learning, and what form?
You said what?
Like what style? Like was it Chen style or was it
Yang? I study Yang style. I mean, I'm familiar with Chen and Wu, Sun, but Yang is my bag. Yep.
Oh, only thing I know, I did like the 24 forms, and I think also I remember like the 42 forms of I forgot the style, but the 24 forms is So, so that's what yeah,
Yeah, most schools start with the 24 posture form.
yeah. But was it like when you was learning, was it was it easy to grasp, or
Was it what?
was it easy for you to grasp?
Uh, yeah, actually, I think that's why I have advanced the way I have advanced at such a young age with the knowledge that I have because of, how easy it is for me to grasp onto concepts, philosophies, techniques. I come from a family of warriors, so it would be like, are you surprised that Bronny James is in the NBA considering who his dad is? You know what I mean? It's one of those things for me. Coming from the family that I come from, they're all military or law enforcement or, some type of security professionals. So, it's only natural that, it fell into the bloodstream.
Oh, what was you learning like some like before Tai Chi? You learning like other things like boxing or working?
Uh, No, I actually, that's a funny question. Actually, I was an uki before I actually learned any art. My two older cousins, who were like my two older brothers, they were deep into martial arts and they were studying ninjutsu and some other things. And as they were studying at 12, 13, I was their practice dummy. At 9 or however I was, I was
Yeah,
their practice dummy, and I ain't gonna get beat up for too long without trying to, pick up something to, like Denzel said, I'm leaving with something. So, I started picking up on some of the things that they would do and try to start mimicking them so I could fight back. But I wasn't really introduced into a martial arts class, and I was when I was younger, but it wasn't. Uh, it was only for a few weeks, for a little while. It wasn't,
right.
it didn't really stick with me as much as it could have. And so it wasn't until I was about 22 or 23 that I came back and just really started taking it seriously, got into class and, said forget everything else. And I got a goal and I'm gonna reach that goal and I ain't gonna stop until I do.
Oh, okay. How far did you reach? I'm asking.
Oh, I reached my goal. I surpassed that long time ago. I just
Like,
fell in love with it.
was you
It's
like
the
in
it's the
tournaments
girl.
or?
It's the girl you said you never would mess with again.
Oh, oh. What were you like in tournaments?
Oh yeah, yeah. I still compete. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
we
Oh,
compete
oh.
every year.
Well, how was that? How was that for you? Like what's that? What's that like in competing in tournaments?
Uh, what do you mean? In what way?
No, I mean like I don't know like too much about the tournaments. I've seen like some on TV. You know, I know like the certain styles people display like in the tournaments like that, like
Yeah, so there's
wushu or
different. Yeah, there's different types of tournaments. I am a student of it all, so I have been in all types of tournaments, BJJ, MMA, karate tournaments, taekwondo tournaments.
oh
Um, I battle test my art everywhere, in everybody's house, and so
oh okay.
we still do that, and that's how I teach the kids to do.
Oh. How long did it take you like to learn all these things? Like that's a lot. That's a lot of stuff to learn.
It takes a while. It's people think it takes a long time, but it's just about dedication. What do you put your
Yeah.
mind to? How dedicated you are. Is how fast you can be. I've had I've had people make black belt in 10 years, and I've had people make it in 2 or 3.
Oh,
You know, it just depends on how dedicated you are, how fast you pick up, how quick you learn, and how hard you work.
okay. Okay. When did you started Dojo Life?
I started Dojo Life. I think it really wasn't a business until it was just a moniker. It was something we were gonna start doing business under. It was more like an idea. It was me and my brothers, students of the arts, of all type of arts, and this was our life. This was our way of life. This was our church.
Right.
Because martial arts is spiritual development. A lot of people think it's kicking and punching, but it's actually spiritual development. And so, even coming from church, being raised Christian, my mother was a minister, still is. Um, this is my church. This is where I really feel like my spirit is really developed. And so, my brothers who felt the same way, we just started using dojo life. Like that was our thing. We'd be, talking to a girl, she'd be like, what you doing on the way to the dojo? Y'all always in the dojo. Yeah, dojo life.
Yeah. 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 It's funny that you say that martial arts is like spiritual development because that's what it was intended to, and then the fighting kind of incorporates that. I
It's a
learned.
it's a byproduct. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
martial arts is to raise your kundalini, raise your spirit animal. And so the byproduct is being able to put that, to translate that into the physical, into the emotional, into the mental, all of these states of consciousness. Right. It's not, as I tell my students all the time, if you just get kicking and punching from martial arts, you miss most of the lesson.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, like if I was a kid, I would kind of absorb all that because I would want to like go straight to the punching and kicks and all that stuff. Unless if I have like if I had a good teacher, because
That's
I
what it's
see.
about. It's about
Yeah,
having the teacher who puts it into perspective for you and what it means, right? Being
yeah,
able to translate the information to who it needs to get to, right? And that's another thing that makes me um unique, because I'm that's what Sabata means. It's the messenger. So I think that's why a lot of people are gravitating towards some of my lessons, because I'm able to put it in unique ways for you to get that lesson, right? Because it's important. And I know it might be boring, in any other school when they teach it, but if I give it to you, I'm going to make sure you know the importance, and we're going to come up with some creative things to where you understand it, right? That's the problem in our school system, right? People, we learn things and then forget them as soon as we graduate because they never related it to real life. They
yeah,
never showed us where we're going to use this, how to use this. They just said, here's information, go use it if you can, and then 20 years later, we're like thinking like, oh, damn, I wish they taught us that in school. Or, they taught me, I forgot
yeah,
that. I got to go relearn it. And so now
yeah,
it's like, when you make the information stick the first time, then it's riding a bike. You never forget.
yeah. I always hated school. I was a truant in high school and stuff. It just kind of it's like what you said. Like certain things, it just didn't stick, and then like growing up, it was hard for me to grasp things, to learn things and stuff. Yeah, I was like a slow learner, at the time. It's like special ed and all that type of crap and stuff like that. But I think just I think life it teaches you, kind of to do better, So, and you got to do the struggling and all that type of stuff. So
Yeah, I loved to learn. That was one of my I guess, one of my things. I love to learn, and I keep learning. And I was always taught that I could learn from a wise man just as much as a dumb man. It's just about what you learn. So, just, eat the meat, spit out the bones. So I've always been like that. I've always been able to go any place and learn, any dojo and learn, even if they doing some McDojo stuff or some stuff it's like, I'm pulling something out, again, like Denzel said, I'm leaving with something,
Yeah,
knowledge is key, even if I just learn what not to do, knowledge is key.
yeah.
I don't have to touch the fire if I sat here and watched that man touch that fire 3 times to know that it's hot.
Good analogy. Like, yeah, yeah. What caught my attention is how you teaching the kids and stuff. Like, do you mostly teach like young girls or like well, you teach young men too as well. Like
Yeah,
what?
I teach everybody. Yeah, I
Yeah,
have
yeah,
students from age 3 to age 93.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I know that you teach from you teach other ethnic groups too as well. That's cool. Yeah, and
Teach
you
anybody with a good heart.
right, right.
But
And
I do put an emphasis on my community, you
yeah,
know, because there's things that we can get out out of martial arts as a community to help us better ourselves, the discipline, the harmony with others, being valuable to our community. These are things that are in our principles: respect, confidence, inner peace, concentration, self-discipline, control of the mind and body, having harmony with others, being valuable to community. Cannot our community use these things?
yeah, yeah. I agree. I agree. And you're from Kentucky originally, right?
Originally, I'm a military baby, so I was born in Madrid,
Oh, okay.
Spain. I've lived a
Oh,
lot of places in the world, but I've settled in Kentucky. Yeah, but
oh,
since I was oh shoot, I don't remember. I was little when we came to Kentucky.
oh. Did you like went through like peer pressure like growing up in Kentucky?
Peer pressure's everywhere, bruh. Yeah.
I I mean yeah, you
it
right.
don't it
You
don't
right.
stop at the state line.
Yeah, yeah, you right. You right. Yeah, you right. You right. You right. I mean, I grew up in peer pressure, growing up in New York City, and just trying to like press people, like by me doing bad things and all that. You know, I didn't really have my own mind, so I had to kind of try to develop my own mind, if it makes sense. I was more of a follower. I mean, we all can be followers, but the things I was following, it wasn't good, if
Right.
it makes sense.
And that's what I do. That's what I do with these young men and women in here, right? I help you establish you, find you. Know thyself is one of the highest rules, laws, mottos. It's everything in a lot of different spiritual systems, and that's for a reason. This world can take you astray if you don't know thyself. But then if you don't have anybody to help you, guide you, to help you inside of yourself to know it, it makes it a lot harder. I grew up
Yeah,
without a father. I didn't meet my teacher till I was 22, and he's like a father to me now. He is my father, and I know my real father. I was also adopted, so my adopted father has passed away. But the man that taught me manhood, the man that taught me to know myself was my teacher, was my Baba.
okay. Do you don't mind like who's your teacher? Like
Infam Baba Sarakali. Some people might know him as his former Grandmaster Chuck Cowan. Um, if you've anywhere in the Kentucky area, you know that name. You know my
yeah,
father. He has over, I don't know, that man has over 5,000 students throughout his lifetime. He's been teaching for what, 75 years, 70 some years, 60, yeah, something.
yeah. Well, we can look at your Instagram a bit, check it out. Would you find them like I see like in one of your Instagram videos or something like that?
What
Or
what I what?
No, like your teacher, like is he? Because I seen like different people on your videos. Is he in your on one
Oh
of your
no,
Instagram videos?
he's not in any of those videos.
Oh, okay. But we could still check it out. Yeah, yeah. So you do the Tai Chi push hands and stuff like that. Yeah, I remember I was doing that. That's a bit challenging. Yeah, yeah.
It's
And
internal, and so a
like,
lot of people are not used to internal martial arts, and a lot of so-called MMA fighters and boxers and wrestlers, they don't understand it. So I get a lot of trolls on my post saying, that won't work, that hasn't worked. So stuff that I've been doing for decades, that's worked plenty of times. It's just you're not on that level. You're still on external
mm,
martial arts. And
yeah,
I understand why you don't understand what's going on over here. I wouldn't either if I was on the outside looking in.
yeah. Do you watch it though, like the MMA, or it's kind of BS to you?
I definitely watch it. Nah, it's not
Yeah.
BS. I mean,
Okay.
it's external martial arts at the highest level, at one of the highest levels. Um, yes, being a professional in this, right? I don't really want to call myself a fighter, but I do this, right? I do
Right.
security. I do physical things with my art all the time. As a professional, yeah, sometimes I look at some of the fights and I'm like, ah, man, man. But other times, there's some great fighters in there. I love John Jones. I love Nate Diaz. There's a lot of fighters I mess with that are really good. Max Holloway is a great boxer. I loved Anderson Silva. I loved uh, what's my boy's name? Adesanya. There's a lot of good fighters I mess with. I'd love to spar.
Yeah. Right. Like I noticed that you had there's a video you with Michael J. Right. That's very interesting. Like what was like him showing you stuff and
Oh, that's Big Bruh, man. Yeah,
yeah,
he was in Kentucky, and we met up, and he came through and talked to the kids, and showed us some things, and trained with us for a while. So yeah, that's definitely shout out to Big Bruh. That's one of my martial arts. I hate to put that word on him, but he is one of my martial arts idols. When I was starting in this, he was one of two or three people that I said that I want my art to look like his. So yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. He's a good actor. It's very universal. He don't just do martial arts, but he drama and all that type of stuff. I don't think I watched too many of his martial arts movies. I think what martial art movie I seen of him. I don't remember, but I
You
remember
ain't
him from
seen no
Batman.
Michael John?
The
You
second
ain't even
Batman
seen
movie.
Spawn? You ain't seen Spawn?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah. It just yeah. I seen Spawn. Yeah. I seen Spawn. It just in my
You
mind.
you
I seen Spawn. Yeah. I would say
you ain't
he's a
see
universal like
I mean, pretty much
drama.
anything he does, martial arts is in everything. And a lot of times, the reason I love Big Bruh is because there's moments in the movie that he puts in martial arts, and a lot of people, you might not see it unless you're a part of that culture. And it's
Yeah,
not it's not overly kicking and punching and physical. Sometimes it's just about how he responded to things. Sometimes it's about his awareness to things. Sometimes it's about, it's just so many intangibles are a part of martial arts outside of kicking and punching that people don't understand
right.
unless you're in the culture. You know what I mean? And so I say that to say, as a martial artist, there's really no movie that he could do that doesn't have an element of him in there. You know, of course, you can do some Tyler
Right.
Perry stuff with, some comedy and drama stuff, but even I can't think of what movie it was. There's a movie where he's doing nothing but drama, but there was a part in there. I can't remember what it was. He just did something, and it was very martial arts. It was just the way that he just like somebody was following him or something, and it was very. I was like, nah, that's a martial arts mindset. You know what I mean? So when it becomes a part of you as a
Yeah.
martial artist, man, it's in everything that you do. I act as well. I actually have a movie that I've done. It was on Amazon Prime, and we're working on another one right now.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I can do one with Big Bruh. Hopefully, we could work on something. But yeah, and it's in everything I do. Even in all the roles that I do, or I've been acting since I was in college. Um,
Okay.
Well, before that, but I was in the theater program in college. Well, part of it. It wasn't my major, but I was a part of it, and we did a lot of plays and stuff. And even then, it was a different way I walk. It's a different way I talk. It's a different confidence I have in the character now. You know what I mean? A lot of that plays
Right.
in what you learn from martial arts.
Yeah. 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 Wow, that's good. I mean, yeah. I mean, like when you look at an actor slash martial arts, like I'm looking at Bruce Lee and Chuck Norris, Jim Kelly, and all that type of stuff.
Of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah.
I mean, they are martial arts legends, especially when it comes to, acting, entertainment, Jim Kelly, Ron Van Cleef, um, uh, Black Dragon. That name escapes me right now. I don't know why. What's the brother's name? Uh, yeah, Tamo. Not Tamo. Tamak. Tamak.
you they I heard that they planning on doing like a reboot to the Last Dragon. That's crazy, man. I'm like, they might as well like animate it. You know what I'm saying? Like, why reboot that? Like, it don't make no sense.
Do a remake. Yeah, nah,
Yeah, that's
you're.
crazy. That's crazy, yo.
Sometimes you got to bring a classic back so the youngins can know what's up.
I don't know. They can't watch it on DVD or something like that. Like, cause I've watched a lot of classic movies like before our time. Like, like
They
stuff.
just remade Karate Kid. They just had the new one, the
Yeah,
Karate Kid Legends come out. I think, and I love the Cobra Kai series that they did all on
that was
YouTube, and
interesting.
it's
Yeah,
moved
that
to
that was
Netflix.
interesting.
That was good. I mean, I love
Yeah,
that. That was entertaining.
yeah,
And then have the Karate Kid coming out. Jaden Smith Karate Kid, and now you got the new one, the Legends. Like that's coming off of remakes of an original. And those were decent. It don't
yeah.
mean anything less for the originals.
Man, I don't know. I ain't really thought about it like that, but we'll see. We'll
If
see.
they do make a remake, it's either got to be dope or it's not
Yeah,
going. It has no choice but to be as good in modern time as the original or
right,
better.
right,
Anything less, and we're not gonna remember it anyway.
right, right. What was the last martial arts movie I seen? I don't even remember. I forgot. Wait a second. I think it was a '70s. I forgot the name of it. It was a chick. She was. It was a '70s, one of them '70s exploitation movies and stuff. But it wasn't too bad. But yeah, but I see, yeah, but the Goju Kai Watsa, I think that's what I was trying to pronounce. Like, what is that? Like, if you can, uh, like,
So
educate me on that.
Goju is a type of karate in short.
Right.
right? There's different types of systems of karate. Goju is a type of system of karate.
Okay.
Within Goju, there's different types of Goju. Um, Goju Kai
Okay.
is like my brother was explaining in that video. Goju Kai deals with the waza, deals with throwing
Mm.
techniques, right? So that's just what that means. It's just another hallway of in the house of karate.
Yeah.
Long
Yeah. Is
hallway
it? Is it?
with many rooms.
Yeah. Yeah. Is there was a point that you had to use it on somebody
Goju.
in a self defense?
I honestly, I am a Shotokan practitioner, so I'm in a different
Oh,
side of
okay.
the house of karate. I am on the
Okay.
Shotokan side, but I have been, as I train with my brother and his teacher, and some of my other brothers who are in the Goju arts, so I'm very familiar, you know, um, with some Goju techniques. But if I'm using karate, it's probably most likely, some Shotokan type. Probably, but that's the thing. Like, I don't, real mixed martial arts isn't about using one system at a time. And that's why I teach something called the art of flow, right? When you have all
Yeah.
these systems in you, when you have all these arts in you, how do you blend those together to create your ultimate fight? How do you make those? How do you use those and maximize the potential of using each art in a split second, right? That's a different form of fighting, right? And that's how a lot of my family members fight coming from our lineage. Like, we have a lot of art. It's normal for a student in our school to have a lot of arts up under them, right? How you blend them together to create your best fight, that's a class in itself, right? Learning how to blend them together. So I never just, especially when I have to do things for security or whatnot, I never just, oh, I'm just using karate. Oh, I'm just using some boxing. Oh, I'm just using some, like, it's a blend. I might use a boxing step with a karate strike. I might use a karate kick in a Wing Chun way. You know what I mean? Like, it's endless. And when you become that, when you separate yourself from the matrix of martial arts, then you can finally become your Neo and realize, oh, I know Kung Fu. I know this shit. Like, okay, I don't have to be so robotic in my fight, in my combat. I can literally flow and be the wave and drown every MFer that come in here, right? That's where you want to be in your art. That's a higher level of art. That's what we were talking about earlier when I say, like, a lot of the trolls just don't understand, you
Mm.
know. And if they would say that versus saying, oh, this is bullshit, oh, that'll never work, you just telling me you don't understand this advanced level, because you train in external arts. You hit a bag, you roll with people. I do that too. But can you do my side as well? Because I do yours and I do this. But you just do that. So you're on the outside looking in when it comes to internal arts, right? There's no internal arts in MMA. So when you say that's not in the MMA, of course not. Because there's no internal arts in the MMA. And a lot of the ferocious arts are dealing with the internal side, right? The video I just did of the Lion King, my brother in Detroit at the Tamarian Institute, Ramasu Iyi, son of Baba Ahati Kalindi Iyi, right? World renowned martial artist, right? Even him doing that lion style, which is very aggressive, tearing, ripping, fish hooking, biting, that starts on the internal. That
Mm.
starts on, and he said it in the video. And those who haven't seen it, you hop on my YouTube and watch that video. It's very good. He says it in the video, like, they use an internal power. They use a power flower, right? I ain't gonna tell you all of it because I want y'all to go watch the video. But yeah, it starts on an
Yeah.
internal. He has to become the lion to really fight like the lion. So that's an internal thing that has to happen that makes the external so ferocious. So that's why I say a lot of the internal arts are banned in MMA, UFC, all of that, because they get real ferocious. A lot of people think Tai Chi is sweet. There's nothing sweet about combat Tai Chi. Nothing
Yeah.
sweet. People see push hands, and there's one thing for tournament. It's tournament, right? Even in tournament, there are banned moves that are basic in push hands. And you wonder why. Well, this is the first move I learned. Why can't I use it in the tournament? Because it's banned. It's too dangerous.
Yeah.
When you
Yeah.
see people wipe the hand, secure the elbow in Tai Chi, and move the man, that's broke. If nothing less, it's hyperextended and he done threw you, flipped you, right? Like that's not we do it gentle because we can. But
Right.
when you were to see a real Tai Chi combat practitioner in combat, that's not going to look sweet. And I'm not talking about the guy who says I do Tai Chi, this and that, and then stand in front of some MMA guy and get knocked out because he doesn't understand basic physicalness of fighting.
Yeah.
I'm not starting,
I
I'm
see
not talking,
that.
I'm talking about a guy like me. Like we understand fighting and I know Tai Chi. I'm talking about like Big Bruh, Michael Jai White, right? I understand fighting and I know how to use this Tai Chi in it, right? There's a lot of good practitioners on the internet like that. And I can't even think of some of their names, forgive me. Adam, he does Wing Chun and Tai Chi in Sing Yi in his arts. He's very good. There's dang, I wish I could think of some of the other ones to shout them out. But they have small followings. People know who real good. But I'm saying you get these guys doing some of these basic Tai Chi moves in the flow of the fight, right? Experienced fighters understanding Tai Chi and doing it in the flow. There's nothing sweet about that. It's getting snapped off, broke
Yeah.
up. You know what I mean? Like twisted off. Like just the
Yeah.
concept of Tai Chi is about twisting your spine up. It's about pretzeling you up. That's what people don't understand. Like the basic concept. Once you get past the, push hands, and then you start doing techniques in push hands, and we ain't even talking chin nai yet, small joint locks. We just talking swai jiao, throwing. I
Mm.
got to twist your spine up to get that throw to go. So you could see it from the outside looking in, like, oh, he just swept his leg and pushed the top half and he just fell. But ask the guy who got swept what happened. He's gonna say, damn, my spine, it just felt like I got twisted. Oh, love. It's hard to breathe because there's a lot of things that you're not seeing from the outside looking in or what's going on to a simple sweep. Like there's some external energy. A lot of people think there's no striking in Tai Chi because you see a lot of it. We attach, we play sticky hands and a lot of that. What they don't realize is anytime I pass something, I struck it. So when I'm doing these drills and these videos and you seeing me, just drill and you see it looks like we playing with hands. No, my students understand when that hand passed your face, you got hit. And that's
Yeah.
sensei taking it easy on you. You know what I mean? If I actually, what do I look like actually hitting the student when he don't understand when he's being hit yet? Then we start hitting them when they understand. Then it starts boom, 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 and he starts to see the flow. You should see how the students, how amazed they get when they come in and they see Tai Chi at the beginning and they see form, and I'm like, yeah, get your form, get your form. And I give you little bits of the combat and show you little bitty things to pique your interest. But then they come to a Tai Chi combat class. I say, come on, you're invited to the combat because you have to have some form before you even get the combat. I can't do nothing with you without form. So I send them to the form class for a few weeks. Then I bring them to the combat class. And when they start seeing how we move, how the teachers and the masters in their move, they're like, wow, that's Tai Chi. Yes, Tai Chi and some Wing Chun and some, but the basis, it's a lot of that Tai Chi. And when you see it really move and when you feel it, you become a believer. You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
become a believer and you see why you can't do that in the MMA because we're in here to fight. We're in here to exchange blows. That's what sells tickets. Tickets don't sell when I end this fight in 30 seconds like I'm trained to do by any means necessary. Does that make sense, right? Even without
Yeah.
eye gouges, even without groin kicks, even without small joint locks, like I'm still trained to end this in 60 seconds or less. And 60 seconds is 30 seconds too long. In fact, 30 seconds is 20 seconds too long in the street. You know, just think of how long that is. You know what I mean? So we don't train for rounds. We train for engagements. Did I get him on this first engagement? Okay, all right. He backed up. All right, cool. He felt that one. Now this next one, I gotta set him down. Right? We don't do rounds. When you get real people who train martial arts, they will tell you the same thing. I don't train for a ring. I was taught to go at first thing. It's man, take his eye out. He can't see straight to walk up in my face and talk crazy. He something must be wrong with his eye. Let me take that out of you and see let me inspect that for you.
Yeah. All I know, I mean, like, with Tai Chi, I know people do it fast. They able to do that fast. I see the
Oh
Chinese
yeah.
people. Yeah, they it's different things that they got one where they do use the fan and stuff like that and sword. I had
Fan was the first
somebody.
weapon I learned.
You say that again?
I said the fan was the first weapon I learned.
Oh yeah. Oh okay.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
crazy. My Sifu was like, I was like, Sifu, when we gonna do weapons? He's like, here's your weapon. And threw out this fan. And I'm looking like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah. Yeah.
But he was just like,
I see.
he's
Yes.
like, and when he started moving with it though, I was like, oh yeah, I want to learn that.
Yeah. Like, how would you like defend yourself? Like, I don't know. This is a silly question. How would you defend yourself by using that with the fan?
By using a fan.
Yeah, like with that fighting style with the Tai Chi. I don't know. I'm just asking.
Oh no, legitimate question.
Is there like a
And I
defense?
and
Oh,
before I answer that, let me
oh.
ask you a question. How would you defend yourself with a bottle? You had a bottle,
Okay.
and you could, how would you defend yourself with that? Because I say that
For popping somebody in.
because a fan is the same way.
Oh,
A fan
okay.
is the same way. What's the difference between these two? When I get to swinging and stabbing and right, and a battle fan has blades on it, so I can really cut.
Mm,
Right, I can really cut when I do things like that. Right, I can hit here. I can trap the arm here. I can dig into small spaces that hurt really bad in there. Right, I can block, parry. I can uh block, parry, defend. Right, illusions give you distractions. Right, there's a lot of things. Right, it's the same as having a knife in my hand. This is why I loved learning the fan first, because
mm.
once I picked this up, I could pick up anything that looks like this, any straight edge weapon. You give me a ruler, I'll whoop your ass just like I would with the fan. You give me a pencil, a pen, a bottle, a phone case, a phone, I'll whoop your ass just like I would with the fan, because it's the same thing. It's
Yeah.
a straight weapon, right? It's a short, straight weapon, right? They even have weapons like these, and it's called a Tai Chi ruler. It's a big piece of wood. It's thicker than this, and but it's about this size, and that's what you learn to fight with. But fan is the same thing. You learn it, then you know the Tai Chi ruler.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And when
That's
you
a
see
lot.
weapons like that, it's different. When you see weapons like that,
That's
it's different, right? Because like now you think I can use a sword, right? You know how to swing a
right.
sword. I mean, you can swing a bat. You can swing a stick.
Right.
Same thing. So if you learn how to use the sword, just think of how better you'd be swinging a bat or a stick if you found something. You know, if somebody was chasing you, just pick something up real quick. You breaking them off in ways they never thought a stick could move.
Yeah, yeah. Is there something that you want to achieve? Like, is there another goal that you would like to accomplish that you haven't reached yet?
Man, at the end of it all, especially with what I got going right now, I want to be one of the most famous martial artists in the world. I want to have the most students in the world. My dream is to have lead 1 million people in doing Tai Chi. If you've ever seen 20, 25 people doing Tai Chi together, the unison, the harmony, the balance, the breath, like it's one of the most beautiful and powerful things you could ever see. And my goal is to bring that to the world. I want the world to be in balance, in harmony, in peace, inner
Right.
peace, concentration, self-discipline, right? And just being your higher self and running your by, you find it through the Tai Chi. Tai Chi is called the grand ultimate. It's the grand ultimate. When I studied with Dr. Yang, who's like the foremost Tai Chi man in the world right now, one of them, he taught us that Tai Chi is between you, your highest self, and the Most High, right? Tai Chi is the ladder to your Most High. It's the grand ultimate, right? And that's why I say, this was our church, this was our life, this was dojo life, right? Because it's spiritual elevation, it's constant rebirth, right? Constant progression, right? Killing my yesterday self, making a new one today, improving on him from yesterday, right? Every day. A lot of people don't understand that about martial arts, especially when we get into relationships. I talk about this a lot with my brothers. Um, Martial arts, uh, dang, I forgot what I was going to say. That was a deep one. I don't know if I should say it. I don't want to put that out there like that, but yeah. Uh,
Yeah, you're saying like you're reaching to your highest peak or something like that. That's what you were saying.
yeah.
And it's like like a relationship.
Um,
That's what I was telling you. Probably get what you were saying. But do
yeah,
you have kids though? Like
I do. I have
oh,
a
okay.
daughter. She's in some of my
Uh-huh.
videos. She's in a couple of my videos. She's 9 years old.
Oh, okay. All
hmm
right.
She studies. She trains. She goes to tournament.
Yeah, that's dope, man. That's dope. Yeah, I wish I had a teacher like you when I was younger. Yeah, that's
I
good, man.
appreciate that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I was learning something that the Tai Chi was created by this guy named Zhang Sanfeng, and he I don't know if you ever familiar with with that name, but he created it to like it has like theories too, and it's like people don't really know the theories; they more into like the movements and stuff like that.
Yeah. People lose out on the philosophy of it. I think that's what helps my art grow because I approach my art through a philosophical lens,
Yeah,
right? If the technique isn't true mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually, then that's not a true technique to me. Which is funny when, the trolls say that'll never work and this and that. And I'm like, you don't even know how I even put techniques into my book. Like it's got to work on all levels. You just hit them with a jab cross. How do you now think about this? Unless you're a professional fighter, How does a jab cross serve you in
Right.
everyday life? Right? How does that serve you? How when do you don't use that till you go to the gym and hit the bag again? Does that make sense? When we have these techniques and I explain them to my students, I'm always, for me personally, even before it gets to my students to me, it has to register to me as full truth, right? You can't just tell me the man grabs you and you just snatch away. Okay, so what if he's
Mhm.
500 pounds stronger than me and I can't get break that grip? What if what if there's 3 or 5 of them grabbing me at the same time? Does that technique work? No, it doesn't. So you can't tell me that that is a high percentage technique. Now, if a little kid grab me, try and
Right.
jack me, and I can just snatch away, yeah, it works. Okay, cool. But in these other situations, it's failed. So the technique that I choose to put in my book and then teach to my students would be: man grabs you, work the anatomy. Where's the weak spot? Where is he weak at? Right? Every grip is weak towards the thumb. Snatched it up towards the thumb. Answer the phone, right? Ain't seen nobody who I done taught that to not be able to get out of a grab, no matter who's grabbing them or how many people's grabbing them, right? Being able to turn this wrist. There's things that you just can't stop. This is a physical, it'd be hard for somebody to stop you from turning this wrist just because you do that thousands of times in a day. So it's very strong. You would never think that when it comes to martial arts, and then you say, well, how can I use that? Well, let's take wrestling. A lot of people try to
Hmm.
grab you in wrestling, and a lot of times I see wrestlers or actually, let's not take wrestling. Let's take boxing for the street, right? When somebody starts boxing somebody, what's the first thing they want to do? Grab them. When you start hitting somebody too much, they grab you. So when they grab you, I see a lot of people just sit there because you don't know how to break grips. It's not second nature to you because somebody told you you could just snatch away, or you told yourself I could just snatch away. I'm strong, and I never trained this, so I don't know what to do. And meanwhile, you getting your ass whooped, and that's not what you want. So when I put a technique in my book, it has to be truth on all levels, right? When it's truth on all levels. Now you ask me, how is the breaking towards the thumb truth mentally? How is that truth spiritually? How is that truth emotionally? Well, let's talk about it. When somebody has a hold of you spiritually or emotionally, and you just want to yank away emotionally, and you can't. Most of the times you can't. And most of the times when you do that, you leave a big ass scar, right? You leave some type of hurt. So what do? We flow, and we take what they give us. You grab me, thank you. You have to give me that. There's
Hmm.
no way you can stop that. And so how do I do that spiritually? When they grab onto me, I flow until they have to get off. I'm writing a book right now called The Power of Letting Go. A lot of people think control happens when you control the things around you. And what I teach my students, there is no control except self-control. But when you have self-control, you'll realize you control the room. But you have to let go of trying to control everything else and everybody else and just focus on controlling you. Just like when the man grabs you, quit trying to control his grip. Accept it, love it, walk away from it.
Yeah. Would it be like your first book or
It would, if I published it right now, it would be my first book published. But I wrote a book in college. I love quotes, bro. So I've been collecting quotes for the longest, and in that collection, I've wrote a book worth of quotes myself, right? And so that was the first book, and it's still ongoing because I still put quotes in it. I just haven't published it yet. I said I'm gonna do the first version here soon, but then again, I also got this book called The Power of Letting Go that I really want to get out. So, depending on which one gets, pushed to the priority first, that'll be the first one. But yeah, it'll be one of two of my first.
yeah, like besides that, I noticed that you do touring. Like, do you tour like overseas or you just tour like the U.S.?
I haven't been overseas yet. Hopefully,
Oh, okay.
hopefully I got some people over there who's watching me now, and they're thinking about inviting me out. I've had some conversations, so hopefully if that pops off and goes through, then yeah, I'll be going overseas soon.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm
Like
actually
how
going
was?
overseas in October to fight though. I'm going to Wales
Oh
in
yeah,
October to fight in world championship.
oh yeah. What?
Yeah,
Like in Tai Chi or
karate.
karate?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Wow. Okay. So you excited or you just it's like whatever?
And he said, I mean, I'm excited, but it's just another work day, just gotta,
Yeah.
put in a few more rounds just because it's a special day.
All right. Correct me if I'm wrong, though. You rap? Because I think there was like one like a clip, but it probably sounded like you, but I'm not certain.
I do. I do.
Yeah, I was hearing
I ha-
that.
I have
It was cool.
I'm an artist as well, under Dre the Sun. I've been doing that for for over 10 years.
All right.
I just came back from the biggest tour I've ever had in my independent career. Last year, I performed at South by Southwest. I performed at two big festivals here in Kentucky. So I know I kind of
Okay.
outdid myself because now this year I was like, dang, what do I do? And then a lot of my dojo life stuff is popping too, like because I really started putting the martial arts out to help my music because it was like um, that's what kind of separates me from other artists.
Yeah.
Like things I talk about in my art when I talk very aggressive. I am from the streets, but I talk very aggressive about certain things, and like it's this warrior mentality, like and I bring that to my art, like
Right.
never give up, keep pushing, keep going. You know what I mean? Like I bring that attitude
Yeah.
into my lyrics and stuff. So I'm just trying to merge the two because they're both my passion. Like I said,
Yeah.
I'm just an
Yeah, you kind
entertainer.
of remind me of my friend, man. Like, I know he does. Maybe been knowing martial arts since he was a kid. He do Shotokan and stuff. Yeah, and he raps and stuff. He raps. Yeah, yeah. I haven't seen him in a while, but yeah, we was learning like Wing Chun. I was like learning a little bit of things with him and stuff like that. Him and this other dude. So yeah, yeah. So man, yeah, man, like, yeah, there was this video that you did. It kind of piggybacks on like the MMA fighters, how they critique you about what's what. Well, let me play it. It's
Yeah,
best
go
I play
ahead.
it because I'm not
Hey,
good at quoting
don't
people.
forget, people who can't do things tell you that you can't do things just because they can't do them. It doesn't mean that you can't do it. They're telling you can't do it and that it doesn't work and that it's not real because they can't see themselves doing it. Prime example, a motherfucker ain't made $1 million, but then you come to them and say, hey, I got this idea to make $1 million. And they say, whatever, bro, you can't do that. Until you make $1 million and then they say, what? Do they say, I'm sorry, I ain't believing you? Man, my bad, bro. No, they say, can I borrow $100? Or they say, hey, don't you owe me? Owe you what? Fear? Disrespect? Hate? Non-support? What do I owe you? Moral of the story, don't let what somebody ain't done tell you what you can't do. Just like these trolls out here tell me what works and don't work because they can't do it, they can't fathom it because their brain is only built around a ring with a ref controlling the rules. See, you're in the box. Like Bane told Batman, you visit the dark. I was born here. We're different. I don't stop you from doing that bullshit you doing over there. Don't try to tell me what I can and can't do over here. That's worked for me for years. Successfully. Multiple times. Continuously. All right, y'all. Keep the dream alive. Peace and love.
Gems, man. I really appreciate that. That was good. Like, what made you wanted to do that video? Because You was getting a lot of criticism, like BS criticism, if I could say that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, for the most part, I just, I can't remember what specific thought drove that video, but
Right,
yeah, it probably came from some type of conversation I had online, or just being fed up because like we were just talking about, my main art is the internal art, and
right.
I can do external arts just like y'all. And when I watch our videos, I don't say too much, whether I agree with it or not. If it'll work in the cage or the ring or tournament or wherever you want to put it, if it'll work or not, I don't say too much. If I like it, I'll say, yeah. If I don't, I either keep scrolling. Um, but when they come to my page and they see something they don't understand, right? They have the biggest bullhorn. And my thing is, I can hit the bags like you. I can roll with another person like you. Can you do these locks and traps like I do them and pull them out in the middle of a fight? Because that's even harder. It's one thing to drill them. It's another thing to pull them out in a fight. So to see me on a higher level and for you to say that's not real, you just look like a clown to me. You know what I mean? And anybody else who's watching that, they're like, oh, you just showing how immature you are in your martial arts. And so for somebody who hasn't reached, you know, you're still a private, and you're talking to someone who's a first class, colonel. It is just like, how are you gonna tell me what works? And you don't even understand what we do at this level. You're still on lower levels of stuff, staff sergeant,
Yeah.
private. You're like, just because you had a few fights in the MMA don't make you a cold fighter. It just makes you an MMA fighter with, with a record. Like, you don't. What does that mean on the street? What does that mean? That's just like me saying I'm a black belt and I go in the club with my black belt on, my multiple black belts on, right? And I start something and this man smack me up and down he don't care about none of them black belts. You just disrespect. So we ain't, that's like them saying, I'm an MMA fighter. What the fuck does that mean? Yeah, that you train hitting a bag and you roll with a man all day. That don't mean nothing. That don't mean you can fight. You know what I mean? I've seen plenty of MMA people get fucked up. So like, what are we talking about? You know what I mean? Like, you can't
Yeah.
lead with that. You got to understand. I was trained by one of my teachers was a Russian special forces killer. One of the best things he ever taught me, and shout out to him. I'm not gonna say his name because I just called him a killer, but shout out to him. One of the best things he ever taught me when we were going over warfare, combat, right? And we're doing things of this nature. He said, Sabata, always ask yourself 3 questions when you in these situations. Who are you? Where are you? And what are you willing to do? Right? I know what I'm set in, and I know a lot of these other guys don't know what they're set in. They don't know that just because you went into this ring 3 or 4 times and got you a 3-1 record or 4-0 record doesn't mean that translates to the street. Now, how would you do if 5 people jumping you? What does your MMA say about that? But you're gonna sit here and tell me
Wouldn't have a chance.
we train with 5. My kids train to fight 5 people in the first year that they're here. All of them. And the thing that MMA wants to throw out, kata and form, don't realize form in kata and form, you're fighting multiple opponents. You're training yourself to fight multiple opponents. Now, on the lower levels, does your teacher tell you that? Maybe, maybe not. Do you understand it? Maybe, maybe not, depending on your teacher. But when you get to the higher levels in most schools and most arts, and you start getting into the bunkai, which is the application of the kata, you start to see, oh, this is more than one person. Because I just did something with him here and I turned this way. Why'd I turn this way? If the man is right here, why am I turning in all 4 directions when I'm doing this kata?
Yeah.
But MMA wants to say kata's trash, it's useless. But I ain't seen an MMA fighter get jumped and survived yet.
Uh, well,
Maybe there's a video out there that I ain't seen. But usually when these, and I'm talking, I ain't even talking about UFC fighters. We could even put UFC fighters in here. But I'm talking about all these guys that in these backwater MMA rings and think that they do stuff. I've never seen them handle a jumping situation. Not with people who can fight. And that's what we train for. See, that's the other thing. We don't train for the average Joe. We don't train for professional fighters. We train for killers. We train for combat, like actual war. A lot of my students and guys and brothers are soldiers. Soldiers. I can name a whole bunch of soldiers in places right now, and I probably shouldn't. DOD specialists, executive protection. These are my family. This is what we do. So when you tell me that wouldn't work in the ring, I believe you. Because the ref would stop that shit immediately when he see me breaking this motherfucker's finger off and gouging his eyes out. No, stop. When he sees me snatch that
yeah.
elbow, you know what I'm saying? Hyperextend that shit. Oh yeah, if the ref don't stop it, the fighter's gonna stop it. That's not legal. That it always happens. Even in the street, people be like, "You can't do that." I bit a dude one day, and he said he's biting me like it was against the rules. I said, "Where's the ref?" He
I
couldn't
don't
find him. He's
know.
still looking for him, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh, I, I don't. You got me on that one. I, I try not. I just try to stay away from fights, man. You know. So
Oh, we always do.
just
I think that's a
yeah,
misnomer with people. It's my job to be in shit, so that's different. But most of my brothers, they never, and that's what I say. What are you training for when most of the time you're not using the physical?
right. It's more the mental, really. Tell you the truth.
Spiritual, mental, emotional, it's all of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Martial arts is about the intangibles. And then when you get to the tangibles, it's like, ooh, I finally get to, okay. I
But
finally get to test this out on somebody.
what do you do like when somebody try to test you like mentally, like besides like the trolls and stuff like that? Like you
Besides what?
like the trolls, like what do you do like when somebody like mentally like play like mind games with you and stuff, like get you upset, try to get you upset?
I do what Tai Chi teaches, do my Tai Chi techniques. Let
Okay.
go, let flow. Sometimes I engage with the trolls just because I wanna put some back and forth because it helps the post grow. They don't realize it. I tell them that all the time. I'm like, if you really hate my shit, you would not comment on it. That way, it won't be in the algorithm. But they want to keep commenting, so I'd go with them. This is bullshito. You right. This is bullshito. Damn, this shit sucks.
uh,
Or this is bullshito. Your mama laughing emoji. You know what I mean? I just do stuff to get them going. You keep commenting. I just
yeah,
use my Tai Chi. Let go, let flow, and make them serve me. So Tai Chi, if you know, even as a basic practitioner, Tai Chi is about using the other person's energy against themselves, right? That's
right,
exactly what I do.
yeah,
So as soon as you throw that comment, I'll throw mine. And then you want to keep going and you all in your emotions and feelings. And I'm just, yeah, your mama. Fuck you. You call that fighting? Please. And I'm over here laughing
yeah.
while the
It's
post is
like
still
fight
getting
like
more and
Bruce.
more views.
Yeah, it's like Bruce Lee said, fighting with fighting, fighting without fighting.
Yeah. Fighting starts up here. It don't start when it get physical. By the
Yeah,
time it got physical, like the fight has started long time ago. Physical is the last stage of the fight. And
right,
that's what I tell a lot of them too. I'm like, you're exposing
right,
yourself by coming on here like that. Like you really telling me a lot about you and your fight. You know what I mean? Because a lot of, these are my favorite ones. They'll come on and they'll say something really disrespectful just as their first comment. Blah, 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 disrespect. My disrespect level, just like our martial arts levels, are very high. So my basic level is probably on your maximum type of level, probably a few steps above your
Yeah.
maximum. So when I come on and I'll say something disrespectful like, oh, blah, 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 disrespect. And then they'll be like, oh, why would, what kind of, oh, hold on. You came on here disrespectful. Then when I serve your energy back, now you start crying and saying, oh, I'm the bad guy. Oh, okay. I'll be the bad guy. I'll be the bad guy. You soft ass. Like you don't that stuff
Yeah.
don't get to me, man. Like
I,
you
I
that
guess that's how it
reverse,
is.
yeah, that reverse psychology shit. That come on, bro. That's child play, bro. Come on. You wouldn't last a day with me in the ring. I'm from the home of Ali, home of the greatest.
Yeah.
What was his best weapon outside of his mouth? His mental game. That's what he used his mouth for. He's drawing you
Yeah.
out mentally. I whooped your ass before we even got in the ring. Throwing these hands ain't nothing but a walkthrough
Yeah.
at this point.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I really appreciate your time, man. Like, thank you for sharing, man. It's
Man,
learning.
I appreciate
Thank you
it.
for your wisdom. Yeah.
I appreciate you having
Yeah.
me on, bro,
Well,
for
let
real.
me, yeah, no doubt, man. In the future, we could talk again. I don't have a problem with it. Yeah.
Anytime, bro. I
So,
appreciate it. Anytime you want me on the platform, I'll slide through.
thank you, man. All right. I'm going to leave you alone, man.
I appreciate it. Where can I watch this at? Where is it gonna be at?
Oh, I'll send you the link.
Okay. Can you send me a
I,
copy of the recording too?
yeah, I got you. I
There
got
was
you.
some good stuff in here. I think I might need to cut up some video.
I got you. I got you.
All right, bro.
All
I
right.
appreciate that.
No doubt. All right.
Okay. I'll send you my email too.
Okay. All right.
All right. Peace and love. Thank you.
Peace.
KLA, Walk